I put the team on my back. I do it all for the family. Everyone think they can rap. Nobody ever gon' challenge me. Started my week on a Sunday. They think they can make it in one day. I just been ready to take off. Waiting my turn on the runway. Never be turning around. Never be turning around. Ayy. Never be slowing it down. Never be slowing it down. Ayy. I keep my foot on the gas. I keep my foot on the gas. Ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash. I know I'm never gon' crash. Ayy. Never be turning around. Never be turning around. Ayy. Never be slowing it down. Never be slowing it down. Ayy. I keep my foot on the gas. I keep my foot on the gas. Ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash. I know I'm never gon' crash. Ayy. Everyone making excuses. I've been busy making music. They just wanna see me fall off. Know that I'm never gon' lose it. Got addicted to the chase now. People saying that I changed now. Know that I'm never gon' stand still. I'm treating the game like a race now. They really been carefully watching me. They treated me like I was calories, but really they can't get enough of me. They treated me like I'm a salary. They bringing me up in discussion. They wondering how do I do it so casually. I celebrate all of my victories. All of a sudden they all gonna be mad at me. Damn, I don't have time for concern. I just go live and I learn. Trust me, I waited my turn. Living my dream in return. This is a given and earned. People been listening over the world. I've been making that money while I be asleep. I never ran to the money, but now all the money been too busy running to me. Ayy, I put the team on my back. I do it all for the family. Everyone think they can rap. Nobody ever gonna challenge me.
So there you guys have it, the V8. If you guys can't tell, that is an LS. Specifically, that's an LS1, but I wouldn't look at the LS1 numbers because I believe the LS1 only makes 350 bhp stock, and it's a 5.7 liter. And then what's the point of that? Because my engine already made 340, 350 bhp, so it's like, what's the point? This is a fully built stroker 388 cubic inch, which is approximately a 6.3 liter. Built heads, has a cam in it. The whole bottom end is forged. Pretty high compression, actually revs close to 7,000, which is, if you guys don't know, that's pretty damn high for an LS because these things usually rev only to 6. And yeah, it came out of a crazy E36 drift truck. That was in an accident on the drift track, but it's all fine. The only thing really damaged about it is this pulley right here, which we can replace. But it's pretty awesome. So this thing now, dyno tuned at 400 wheel horsepower, which is about 450 to 500 bhp. But depending on what I decide to do, if I just want to start doing stuff inside the car and build this thing on the side, I can do even better heads. And then with that, ignore that, that's my neighbor with his C4 Corvette revving. But if I want to do even better heads, I can actually get this thing close to 500 wheel horsepower, which is almost 550, 600 bhp. So yeah, but it came with everything besides the trans, because I'm going to do a T56 trans out of a Corvette. He was running a C4 Corvette trans, like the older ones. But it has a full oil cooler, as you can see there. It came with the swap kit actually, because he used the CX Racing E36 swap kit, and we looked at the parts and they're literally exactly the same. The headers, the engine mounts, trans mounts, all the same. So that saved me close to $1,000 not having to buy the swap kit. It came with the full swirl pot, the catch can, the intake, radiator hose, the headers for the swap, as you can see right there. The full wiring harness right there, which is so simple compared to the other wiring harness. I wish I could have showed you guys. I totally forgot to show it to you guys, but here's a picture of how the wiring harness looks outside of the car. So much wiring. This is standalone, so this is just for the engine, just for the fuel pump, all to switches. Has everything really else to it. I just really need to get a radiator, which I'm probably going to do a nice race Michi motor or something like that radiator. And I need to get a T56 trans, and I need to get a custom drive shaft that goes from the T56 to the M3 rear end, and then it should work for the most part with minimal spending. But that's pretty awesome. Like I said, we already have the AEM race dash, so that's what I'll be running. The dashboard's out right now. As you guys can see, there's not a single wire in this thing. It's so clean. The heater core is taken out, the AC, all the HVAC stuff is taken out. That's the heater core. So I lost another close to 100 pounds taking out everything from the car. I will be doing a lighter battery as well, but that's the progress with this car, which is pretty dope. I also do need a clutch kit. That's the one thing I forgot. I do need a clutch kit. But I know probably a lot of you are going to be upset that it's not a BMW engine, but personally speaking, although this build started out as a replica, personally it turned more into a functional race car, because I just want something that works, and the cheapest power is LS, because it's cheap. It's not that it's cheap, it's just if anything breaks, you can go to any AutoZone, you know, because truck engines use this engine, or because Chevy trucks use this engine, it's super cheap to find parts, like random stuff for it, and there's a ton of aftermarket for it. This is a full aluminum block end headers, so that, or end heads, which means that it is actually lighter than the engine that was in this car, and it's gonna sit way further back. It's gonna sit somewhere like right here and super far down compared to the S54, which sat like almost to the front. So it's going to have a way better lower and further back center of gravity, improving this whole car's weight distribution. And overall, we'll probably have like a 2,600 pound car at the end of this, which is insanely light. As you guys know, we have the race coils in the mail. We've got to drop the rear end, do the solid race bushings, change everything with solid bushings, do race control arms in for the top and the bottom. And yeah, it's a ton of work to do, but hopefully you guys are excited. Personally speaking, like I said, I just wanted something reliable. The BMW V8s only make 400 bhp, and a lot of guys say like, oh, you could do tuning, but they don't realize tuning is like doing cams, which for an engine like that is insanely expensive. It's like $2,000 to $4,000, and my point is, money per money. If you put 10K into both engines, you'll make way more power with this. If I put a nasty Pro Charger on this thing, I can make 800 wheel, 900 wheel horsepower and absolutely demolish everything, and that's what I want to do. So power wise, this thing is insanely efficient, and like I said, I can literally, worst case, I can do a rebuild of this engine on the side of the track. It's a very easy engine to learn to build because it's a pushrod engine. So like even doing the head gaskets in this thing, taking off the heads, which I will be doing just for maintenance, it's super easy because there's no cams up here, so you could just undo the head, take it off, and that's really it. So guys, I just wanted to show you guys the V8 and put out this video. Like I said, I know a lot of you are going to be angry and stuff, but that's okay. If you really feel the need that because of an engine you don't want to watch this build, then that's up to you, but I'm going to make this car a lot faster than what an original GTR was, by a lot, and in every way, so that's kind of the plan. And yeah, I mean, I hope someday I have enough money that I can just do an engine swap just for the fact of being a cool engine swap, because that would be cool. I mean, doing an engine swap just because the engine's cool, throwing a Ferrari V8 or something like that. But we live in the modern world, and I have to be cost I have to think about dollar per horsepower, which is more important to me than just having a fancy high revving V8, which doesn't make the same power as this one does. So hopefully you guys understand, but it's okay if you don't. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next video, where we'll probably start to tear more into this thing. I'm not even sure what the next video will be, but maybe it'll be something to do with the Mercedes, who knows. See you guys next time.